Welcome back to the Stevens Playbook. I'm Michael.
I'm Matt.
What do you got today?
Oh, where to start? I feel like a lot of productive things have happened today. We got the ball rolling a little bit more with our app. We actually finished the design of it, and we're on to the next phase of making it. Let's see, Money.com. We got the package deal for that. Added a few more people to help us out, potentially.
In works.
Oh, what else we do?
Gym. That's
Yeah,
my daily. I'm going to say that every day. Went to the gym.
yeah.
If you don't, you need to.
No, Sundays is my only day I don't go.
No, not necessarily like Sunday specifically, but if you don't go to the gym consistently, you need to.
Oh yeah, how come? For
Get
those that
better.
don't know the
For
benefits of
those
the
that
gym.
don't know, you got to go. Oh, I'm still digesting my food just down. First of all, you got to take care of yourself. So you got to be capable of doing life, capable of violence, capable of peace, capable of living. Your biggest asset is yourself. So take
I'll just
care of it.
stop you there. It's to be better in bed. That's the reason you do
Yeah, there's this
it.
philosopher I know. His name's Don Mazzetti.
Yeah,
Um, he's on YouTube. You can find him, but he really puts out wisdom when it comes to the gym.
it's true.
Yeah. So if you're looking for what how to get better, how to be better in the gym, or just understand the gym better, Dom Mazzetti, he's your guy.
Curls for the girls.
Yeah. Anyways, I also listen to a podcast, Nick Bear. Love this guy. Um, his podcast, kind of a Q&A session. So first question was biggest mistakes in business, and took a lot of notes from that one. One thing I wrote down, and this wasn't necessarily, I mean, it's a break off from one of his mistakes, kind of more of a lesson. But the commander or the CEO or the leader or whatever, job is intent and vision. And so once you got a team, or I could take this into work, the workplace, but the job is intent and vision. So you have to make sure that everybody's aligned. And as a leader, this doesn't necessarily mean that you're the CEO or whatever it may be. You can be a leader among peers, but if you can convince people to align to one goal, that's how you can get stuff done. So intent and vision. So that's pretty good. Peace. And along with that, he said there's two types of people, a visionary and an integrator. And so, as you can see, visionary, intent and vision, and then the integrator made happen. So I think so. From this, his mistake was that he talked about was giving up his role as CEO in BPN. Nick Bear is the CEO of BPN. If you weren't tracking, gave that up to go pursue other things, and so he identified that as a mistake because he gave up his ability to guide and provide the intent and vision to BPN. So yeah, that was the first part. You got anything on that?
No, I think no.
You
So
don't.
Nick Bear is back to the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
What was wrong with the other person?
I think that BPN was heading in a direction that wasn't good for the business. That's how he explained it, at least. So he left the business and then went into a direction that wasn't ideal.
Hmm.
Basically, the gist of the story. Now he's back in. He also wrote, "Vision's the art of seeing what's invisible." So being able to look forward and just conceptualize the future, extremely important. And it also goes into what I'll talk about later. Actually, I'll just bring it in now. The book that I'm reading right now, Think and Grow Rich, chapter 3, on faith. So it kind of goes into that, seeing what's invisible, and then next step, believing that it's going to happen. So faith is talking about believing that whatever it is in life, you can alter your circumstances, is what it means, just by believing. So if you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you'll lose, you've lost. If you think you're outclassed, you are. The one who wins is the one who thinks he can. So that was a poem in there that pretty much summarized that chapter. But basically, whatever you think, it's going to manifest itself into reality. Anything on that chapter?
I mean, that just ties back into the law of vibration.
Vibration.
Yeah. Of how you perceive things and like how your thoughts are energy pretty much. And like everything has a frequency and a wavelength to it. And that's faith-based is one of those. You believe something so strongly, regardless of what it is, whether it's a religion or whether it's, just that you can accomplish something. The more you believe in something, the more the more it will happen because the vibrations you're sending out attract that back into your life.
Yeah, it's all about the vibe. That's what I say.
It's all about the vibes.
All about the vibes. And I was saying that before I really knew what it meant, but I'm still saying it. Next question he was asked, how many hours was I working when building the brand? All of them was his answer. So when you're building something, and that's what we're doing right now, we're building stuff. All of our free time goes into building the brand in some way or the other. All of it's being spent. So time is the only resource provided equally to everybody. Meaning that just because somebody has a job or whatever it is their situation is, they still have 24 hours in a day. Everybody has 24 hours.
Who said this?
He was talking about it. Nick Bear was talking about it.
Nick Bear?
I think most quotes, whoever says the quote is probably not the originator of the quote. I think they're all kind of, especially at this time after so many years of philosophy is in the books. Everything is a way to re-verbalize, re-say something else that's already been spoken or written. But time is the only resource provided equally to everybody.
Why would Nick Bear want to go back? Because I mean, because you always hear like the super wealthy people, they leverage their time to the best of their ability by outsourcing as much work as you can. Wouldn't you try to find a CEO? I mean, this is just me asking the question. Like, wouldn't you try to find like someone that aligns with that vision?
Well, I think for him, what he wants isn't necessarily to just make money from BPN. I mean, that could be his main motivator. I think what he wants more is to push the business to the beliefs that it's saying. So like, enabling athletes or whatever their motto is, go one more. I know that, but I haven't memorized BPN's mission and vision. But I think the bigger thing is, I think he has a purpose in life, and that's what he's pushing for. And he sees BPN as the chariot, if you will, to get to that destination, that purpose. That's my opinion, my thought of what I think why he got back in is because he sees where he wants to go or what he wants to achieve, what legacy he wants to leave behind, and he sees BPN as the way to do it.
Okay.
I don't know though. I'm not him.
I guess yeah. When we get into that position later down the life.
Yeah. I also added a quote in here from Hormozy's podcast that kind of went along the same lines as what he was saying in this one. If you can maximize time, you can maximize outcomes. So basically work to maximize your time. Or no, this wasn't Hormozy. This was also Nick Bear. But what he was talking about, because he was in the military, and during that time he was building the brand. So he was using all of his free time. He'd wake up in the mornings to film. He'd go after work to continue to work on the brand and his company. And so when he got out of the military, he realized how much additional time that he had. And he was able to maximize that more effectively because he had so much extra time and he'd been practicing his time management the entire time. So if you can maximize time, you can maximize outcomes because, like he said, time is the only resource provided equally to everyone. So yeah. Next thing I wrote, prioritization beats efficiency. If you're selling to everyone, you will sell to no one. Prioritization, you got to figure out what's important so that you can maximize your time and prioritize what's important. For us, we have our priorities here. We everything that we're doing aligns with those priorities, and ultimately that's our way of maximizing the outcome, is both maximizing our time into it and then making sure that the time that we are putting into it is in the right places.
And then everything we build, or everything that we do put our time into, builds upon each other in some form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Like even this podcast, it's building into us being able to speak, have a platform eventually of our own, and able to sell our own products and wherever else we decide to go with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Next thing he talked about was marketing. And he's saying that it's all about telling a story, which is kind of what we're trying to do here. And then that I'm doing in my personal brand, and the brand that we're pushing for the other stuff that we're working on is it's all about telling a story. And then I don't remember where he got that from, but he said a story that sells and a story that spreads. That was a quote from someone. Don't remember who he quoted, but that's what it's about. It's about telling a story that people can connect with. So that's what we're working on here. And that's what I try to do every time I make a piece of content, is to tell a story. And then saw someone's post who was saying authenticity is the secret. That was Jordani or however you pronounce it. He's a designer for Young LA. But authenticity is the secret, meaning just be yourself as you're telling these stories. Don't try to create someone you're not. Just say it how it is, and people will connect with that or they won't. But you're not going to connect with anybody if you're telling a story that is fabricated from a lie.
That's the reason we go to the gym.
But that's not a lie. That's for real.
That's for real.
I feel it. I feel it in my bones. Feel it in my muscles. I feel the soreness.
Yeah, my lower back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my knees. Yeah, so about marketing, branding is everything. That's what speaks, is the branding. Branding has a heartbeat. That's what he's saying. It is your company. Your company is your brand. So if you are leading with something, lead with brand, because that's what's going to build the framework and the heart of the rest of the company. Everything will be built around that. And then as for paid marketing, there's no reason to pay for marketing until you have that brand in place. So you're paying to leverage the brand, not to build it. You're paying to leverage the brand that's already there. It's also from his podcast. Next thing he said, standing out. So a great product is the standard, not the exception. You can compete on price, but no one's going to remember the name of your brand competing on price. Everyone wants something that is worth having. So in order to do that, you have to work on making the best product. That's what we do here, is what we're trying to do, is our focus is the product. So whatever we put out, our focus is making that the best possible product that we can, so that we can provide the most value to the people who decide to buy it or to use it. So biggest not motivator, but our biggest focus is to create the best product. And what he was saying here is it's the standard, not the exception, meaning that everybody has a great product. So in order to stand out, you're using your brand. Your quality is expected, is what he was saying. So every quality is expected. It's the standard, not the exception. So in order to stand out, you have to, one, you got to solve a real problem, and then two, you got to leverage that brand. So you have to have a brand. Brand connects people. Yeah,
You got a lot of notes today.
I got a lot of notes. I was listening, and there's a lot of value being put out, so I wrote it down.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Let's see what else we get.
It's like another 2 pages worth.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip some stuff, but basically what he's saying here about standing out is you gotta create a connection using clear and concise messaging, communication, and you gotta change the rules of the game. Next question was asked, what advice would I give to my younger self? Read more often. As you can see, I got this book over here. I make it unintentional. I make it intentional to add reading into my daily so that I can take in as much information from people that have been successful or companies that are doing things different or standing out or whatever it is, or just become a better leader, better person. And so I read as much as I can, always either reading or listening to an audiobook or a podcast. I do a lot of podcasts. I prefer paper books though, so audiobooks they're nice, but I prefer paper books. You can write in the margins, you can highlight. You don't have to go back and find a timestamp and then listen to it on 0.5 speed so you can process it.
Some of those books are really dry, and audio is the best way to go about it. But for the majority of the books, it's just so much easier to process information when you just read the physical copy.
Yeah, read at your own speed because I'm a slow reader. But when I listen to a audio book, I listen to it on like times 1.2 or something.
I'm over there doing cardio, and I'll listen to my audiobooks then. Make the time go faster.
Yeah. Next thing he said, his advice to his younger self: you are your own constraint. Your new life will cost you your old one. So you're the one that's in the way of your success. Nobody else, not your situation, your own mindset. And that goes along with this book. So he also said your new life will cost you your old one, meaning that where you want to go requires a different person than the one that got you to where you are right now.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing to give up what you've done for what you need to do.
We both strive high for a lot of different things, and you literally do have to sacrifice everything, or at least change everything to make it happen. I know you're a lot more structured on your diet right now and consistent with the gym and everything just to reach your new goal. That's the same with for me, I'm trying to lose weight, and which is ridiculously hard. And it's the same thing. I have to literally say goodbye to a lot of things that I would have enjoyed before to make this happen. That's a good one.
The next one's more about business. Stop trying to avoid problems. That's what he would tell his younger self. Start identifying and solving problems instead. So we're all in the problem solving business as an entrepreneur, as someone who wants to make something. We're in the problem solving business, not the problem avoiding business. So if you keep avoiding problems, they're still problems. But if you solve the problems, you fix them. And that's what we're doing here. Identified problems, and we're working on solving them. Next thing, hiring the right people at the right time. It doesn't really speaks to what we're doing right now, actually, because we're working on gathering, building the team. So we want to make sure that we're putting the right people into the right roles and ultimately that's going to bring us to the next level.
Yeah. Networking is going to be the next big step. Once we get these initial steps going, networking out and trying to find other people of similar interest will be a big priority step for us next.
Might be like a background task.
I think it's pretty important.
Oh, it's definitely important, but that's like a all the time task. You're always doing that.
Yeah.
Everywhere you're going, you're networking or learning or meeting people. Like at the gym, at whatever shows you go to, wherever you're going.
That's very true.
The people that you're talking to are the people you're networking with.
Yeah. I imagine once you have the product, even before then, just talking about the ideas.
Right. He was talking about the first hires are the most important. They set the tone and the culture. So you have to make sure that people speak the way that you expect your company to speak in. So it all goes back to the faith, or maybe even the chapter before. No, faith's good because like what you put into your mind becomes your reality. And if you got people around you that are just putting negative thoughts into the air, that's bad, especially for a culture of a business that wants to go great places.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you said, play the long game. We're playing a long game by making you listen to the longest episode that we put out so far. So play the long game. Good things don't come in as fast, or that's not a good way to put it. For something great, it's going to take some time, and that's what we're working on. Something great. Next, he says, trust your gut and build what you want to build. So if you're out here just building because it's a popular thing to do or a fad or everyone's doing it, whatever it is, if you're building something just to build and it's not something that you actually want to build, it's going to be hard for you. Not impossible, but it's not likely going to lead to where you want it to go. So make sure that what you're building is something that you're interested in, and that really inspires you. So, I love fitness. It's kind of why everything is fitness related that we're working on. That's pretty much it. I'll set some more stuff in there, but those are the cliff notes. And now you have them. So hopefully you took some notes and are able to act on those in your life. Make yourself great.
Till tomorrow.
Peace.